Hello, everybody. My name is Raju. I'm a student at SMU doing data science course, and this is my presentation on final project. It's about talent management and attrition. So let's just go to the next slide. So here's the data set that I'm looking at. It's called case study 2.data. It is showing about 36 variables and 870 employees. The variables include anywhere from age to job satisfaction to monthly income to gender to various other things all the way to overtime. And I'm analyzing all these different variables, trying to find out which top three factors will contribute to attrition. So just to give an overview of the data, about 16% of the population left, attrition is yes, and about 84% of the population stayed. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. This is a chart showing attrition versus monthly income. It's a pretty interesting slide. When you look at the people who left, these row up in the top. There's a gap here in the very high income earning employees. Other than these three outliers here, there's really nobody here. So that means people who are making over 15,000 or more, they don't really exist in the people who left the company. And also looking at the average mean value of the salary of the people who left versus who stayed. The people who stayed makes more in average. So to test the theory, I did a t-test. The hypothesis is that the people who leave tend to make less, and the p-value is shown here. It is less than 5%, so that kind of validates that theory. So to summarize that, this chart is clearly indicative that the higher you make, the higher chance that you stay in a place. So monthly income do play a role in attrition. Okay, next slide. Job satisfaction versus attrition. There's clearly a linear relationship here. If you can job satisfaction of 1 means low to 4 high, if you can jump from 1 to 4, your attrition can be decreased by half, and that's pretty significant decrease in attrition if you can increase job satisfaction. Okay, looking at two other factors here, education field and education level. This chart is showing the higher education level 5 tend to be in the master's degree type of level. The attrition is pretty low. This is showing 11.5%, where somebody's level is 1 is 18.4. So you can kind of see there's a clear linear drop in attrition as the education level increases. Looking at the left chart here, looking at the education field, this is more of a job trend type of a chart, but it is still valid to show that here. People in HR and technical degrees tend to have a high level of attrition compared to people in medical field or other fields, other industry like life sciences. They tend to stay at a place longer than in these two other industries. Okay, next slide. Looking at male versus female, it is coming up pretty even though males are slightly more that's what the data is showing that they're left. But then again, it is pretty even here. But looking at marital status, though, it is showing that single folks are leaving at 26% compared to married and divorcees at a lower rate. Between the married and divorcees, married folks tend to leave more than divorcees. And that is another insight that I'm finding from analyzing the marital status of the folks. So this is another factor, work-life balance. This is a huge factor when it comes to attrition. If your work-life balance is 1, means low, it is showing 35.4% are leaving compared to somebody with the high work-life balance at 4. That's a huge jump going from 1 to, even if you can even improve from 1 to 2, that's a reduction almost half or more than half. So work-life balance, as we find out later, that it is a major contributor to attrition. So is overtime. When you look at overtime, 31.7% of the people leave if they're required to do more overtime compared to the people who don't have to work that much overtime. So these two factors make a pretty big role when it comes to attrition. To summarize all the results, here's my findings, the top three factors. Number one is work-life balance. So if you have a low work-life balance, the chances of a person leaving is pretty high, and high overtime. If you work so much overtime, or if you're required to work more overtime, the chances of people leaving is high as well. So it's low income. If you're making a lot less than a very high income earners, the chances of the employee leaving is also very high. So if you combine all these predictors, this will show that the people will stay or leave. So let's just go to some of the job specific trends. This is a quick look at the monthly income of different job roles, and we can find out the managers and research directors make more. Not surprising, but one surprising finding is the research scientists don't make that much. It's under $10,000 a month compared to these two job roles. So is sales representative. They don't make that as much compared to any of the other professions here. Okay. Next slide. This is showing job satisfaction and job role versus job satisfaction in education field. It is kind of inconclusive. We look at the data. It's kind of sporadic. Any fields you can find somebody who's extremely satisfied and extremely satisfied versus not satisfied. So it's all over the place. So the result is that it is inconclusive. This chart is looking at age versus monthly income. As we expected, the higher the higher the age, your experience level goes up, so is your monthly income level, and that's what this data is showing us. We look at here, anybody who's under 25 years of age, they are classified here in the low income level, and that's not surprising. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Let's just go to the machine learning side of things now. So with all these predictors that we found out, let's just try to see if we can predict whether a person is going to stay or leave. The method that I'm using here is KNN, nearest neighbor. So with this method, the two predictors I'm using here is job satisfaction and monthly income. And you can see the blue dots are the ones that of the attrition cost, yes, or the employees left. With the KNN method, I am getting an accuracy of 83%. That is classifying correctly. So there's 218 people who were classified correctly versus 43 were incorrectly classified. The K value I used is somewhere around 25 or so, and as you can see here, it levels out. The accuracy levels out when K value is at 25 or more. So that's the accuracy of the prediction using KNN method for attrition. Okay, so the other method I used is naive Bayes method, and it is slightly improved accuracy at 85.82%. So really here, there's 224 were classified correctly, whereas 37 was incorrectly classified. So that's a slightly improvement from KNN method. All the results from these methods are provided in a CSV file, and it is uploaded into GitHub. And if you're interested, we can go look at that and find out which employee is predicted to leave or stay based on their employee IDs. And now let's just go look at the salary predictor. This is based on age and monthly income, and you can kind of look at this is the linear regression line. Try to fit the curve between these data points. This is a degree 1 fit. I also tried degree 2 and degree 3. Results weren't that better, so decided to show the degree 1 plot here. This is showing all the coefficients of these lines, of the equation of these lines. So we can try to predict monthly income of an employee based on this linear regression model. Again, the CSV files were provided in the GitHub repository, so you can go and look at it and see how much this model is being predicting the salary of the employee, and it's all being classified based on the employee ID. And that is all I have. And thank you for listening. And please don't forget to check out the GitHub directory.